So finally got my internet issues resolved. So my last video uploaded here. So we have a cold front moving through the south here, and we have two events that are potentially going to be impacting. Well, will likely be impacting two different areas in the coming days. We have flooding with moisture associated with the Priscilla moving up this way, and then in the little bit extended range, medium range, we have a system that's going to form off the southeast coast, move up the coast here, flooding rain along the east coast, high winds, surf. Um, Pretty early in the season for having a system like this, but the models pretty much agree on how this is going to evolve. So first, let's get to the threat for the desert Southwest, which is ramped up quite a bit here. We have the flood risk through Friday morning. Um, you see where the bullseye is here in Arizona. Moderate flood risk. It's very possible it could end up being a high risk, depending on how this evolves. And as we all know, these areas are prone to flooding because they're desert, right? Very arid, and the water just isn't absorbed into the soil, and it runs off quickly and floods very quickly as well. So, um, so let's look at the current hazards real quick. You see where the flood watch is here for the desert Southwest. Wind advisory as well, just to the west here. Some dense fog advisories in the plains into Texas, and freeze warning for the Northeast, freeze watch a little bit further west there, and in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes area, freeze watch as well. Freeze warning, excuse me. And some coastal flood watches along the coast here for the impending um, storm, right? And what this is just a mild depiction here. European ECMWF. Here's Priscilla. Here's your large surface high out here. This is a surface map showing precipitation type and the surface pressures, right? Moisture associated with Priscilla goes up through into the south here, the southwest. You see this low forming off the southeast coast, Florida coast. All right. And low moves to the north here. And this is the current model depiction of this, right? Um, this is Sunday. So a potentially long-lasting event here sits there, right? Deepens to a 997 millibar low, slinging wind and rain onto the coast here, right? And likely driving like a frontal boundary through here as well, spinning right along the coast, and then slingshotting around and finally out to sea like by Wednesday, right? So this is all the way through Monday. It could be impacting the Northeast and the mid Atlantic, right? So these are the wind gusts potentially associated with this, right? Let's go back in time here. This is to today, the 12Z, which is about 8 a.m. Moving up the coast here. You see where the highest winds are right along the coast, okay? And then potentially 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 6 hour max wind gusts, right? Um, it's showing potentially 50, 60 miles an hour right along the coast here and up into the Long Island. And the onshore wind here is going to be a big problem because water will pile up, especially during high tide, which will lead to low land flooding right along the coast. Okay, and system doesn't have to be tropical to have impacts. You know what I mean? So, and potentially, since it's a long duration event, in combination with the already high waves from Jerry off to the east there, and rip currents is going to be very dangerous along the east coast today. In the coming days, you should not be getting in the water out here. Very dangerous. Okay. Um, as far as so let's do 6 hour precipitation. Okay, starting um 2 a.m. today, Priscilla. The moisture starting to pool here, Priscilla, and you see the moisture starting to come up to the north here. Doesn't seem like a lot, but for the desert, it is. You can see where the highest precip amounts are off the coast here and in desert southwest, right along the North Carolina, South Carolina coastline. We got potentially 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, and this persists in desert southwest. This moves to the north here. The system kind of gets sheared out a little bit, right? And then moves out to sea. But you can see where the highest rainfall amounts are. If you look at the total QP, the total amounts, right? Let's go back. Go forward in time here. See where the bullseye is here in the desert southwest. Right along the coast are the highest precip amounts. These are total amounts for the whole event. Any deviation of the track of the system will definitely dictate potential rainfall, right? So we're just gonna have to watch where this finally tracks. Although the models are in good agreement, they're still not exactly the same, and they won't be till we get maybe in the short-term model guidance. Okay. So, ladies, key messages. You can read this here, but strong wind gusts, rip currents, and beach erosion from high surf from both uh, Jerry and the nor'easter. Strong onshore winds, high surf, high tides, coastal flooding impacts are definitely a possibility here. And, you know, this website, if you want to go to it, will help you determine those impacts. All right. So, moving on here, there's a different way to look at the total rainfall, day 1 through 7. Um, right. You see where the reds and oranges are. Highest amounts right along the coast here in desert southwest. So I don't necessarily think rainfall is going to be the biggest impact. I think that the coastal flooding is going to be the biggest problem with this. Although with rainfall on top of it, it's not going to make it any better. That's for sure. So we need to be prepared for this event to last all weekend, and don't plan on going out to the beach. I wouldn't. You know, if you're going to be out there, Just don't go in the water. Please don't do that. Okay. I'll talk about this more tomorrow as well. And we can hone our forecast a little bit, but definitely good confidence that there'll be a high impact event along the mid Atlantic and Northeast and parts of the Southeast in the coming days. What is the severe weather outlook like? No severe weather expected today, tomorrow, or the next day. All right. And here's the excessive rainfall outlook, right? We have today till 12Z, see what the slight risk is, and then the marginal risk along the Florida coast as well. And this is where we were talking about earlier, this marginal slight and moderate risk here, bullseye in central Arizona. Again, along the east coast here, southeast coast. This item was further east in the desert southwest, that area up the south, up the mid-Atlantic, right? Then we go to day 4, moves further north, which we talked about, right? And then desert southwest again with that moisture hanging around. And still in the desert southwest and along the west coast and the northeast for day 5, which would be Sunday or Monday, right? So long duration event here, and you can see the track with Jerry, the latest track here, forecast to go to the east of Bermuda. When we look at the radar, current radar, let's take this off. We see where the highest precip amounts are right now. Not a lot of convection going on, but this rainfall and moisture is already streaming to the north here. And this is just a precursor to this here is just a precursor to what's developing offshore. Um, Again, high confidence we're going to have a storm move up this way and bring high impacts to the east coast of the U.S. and the desert southwest. All right, so be mindful of what's going on along the east coast and stay tuned to your local weather. Go to your National Weather Service webpage and listen to your local authorities. They tell you to leave the area, especially on the Outer Banks and places that are really susceptible to flooding. Do so. I mean, you only have to be gone a couple of days, and you probably will be happy to do that. I would be. So, either way, I hope y'all are safe out there and have a good day.